Hi, it's Wednesday the 2nd of February. My name's Simon Budden and you're watching CTV's Student News. There's loads of things coming up in the next few weeks, both on and off campus. And one of the biggest changes that we might see is a change in the structure of our sabbatical team. In a couple of weeks' time, the potential changes will be put to a vote. And with me now to tell us a little bit more about the vote is David Howells, Vice President for Welfare and Diversity. David, thank you for joining us. So what exactly is the vote on?
Well, Simon, the vote is about the structure of future sabbatical teams. So we're looking to change the makeup of the team for future years. The main kind of changes are reducing the number of SABs from 6 to 5, which involves losing the position of Vice President Communications, but also changing the roles of some of the remaining positions, mainly my role, Welfare and Diversity, which will change into a slightly broader role of Community and Diversity, and changes within the role of Activities and Development and the President, though they will be keeping their names.
So what prompted the sabbatical team to look at changing its structure?
It was something that we were advised by the previous team, and that the previous team to them had advised them to look at, and they had done some work on possible changes that could be made, but kind of they'd started very late on in the year, and obviously as it's such a big thing, it takes quite a lot of work to get the whole project right, but also you need time to prepare for, taking it to the students.
And there isn't just going to be a vote on changing the sabbatical structure, is there?
No. The changes to the sabbatical structure is the referendum that the Board of Trustees are proposing. But what we want to do is use this as an opportunity for students who have good ideas of things they'd like to see, that they want other students, to have an opinion on, to find out whether or not it's something the Students' Union should be doing, to have the opportunity to put that out there. So students can send proposals for ideas, policies, whatever, to Vice President Communications, who's collating them all, and then a panel of students and the sabbatical team will decide if there are any that we can take to vote. Some things obviously might not be suitable to take to vote immediately because they might need thinking, what the consequences are and how we would implement them if they to go through.
So what are the important dates that everyone needs to remember?
The important dates are on Monday the 7th, we will be publishing our referendum proposal, but students have until the end of that week, till probably midnight on Thursday, to submit their own ideas for other referenda. There's also the opportunity to submit amendments to our own by that time. And then on Monday the 14th, Valentine's Day, easy to remember, fun activity for all the amorous amongst you, come to an open meeting where we will be discussing exactly what the question that we will put for ours is. We will be announcing what other referendum is going to be, and anyone who wants to take part actively, getting involved in campaigning for one side or the other, should come along because it'll be arranged there. And then voting will be from the following Thursday till the following Tuesday at midnight.
And lastly, if students want more information, is there a website they can go to?
Yep, information on all of this, including guidelines for how to submit an idea if you wanted to do that, and about the bare basics of the proposal, is currently at bathstudent.com/referendum.
Brilliant. David Howells, thank you very much. If you'd like more information on the referendum or on the upcoming sabbatical elections, then keep an eye on CTV, read Bath Impact and listen to Buzz on 14:49 AM URB every Wednesday at 6 PM. Now, from Monday the 7th of February until Sunday the 13th, the SU is holding Refresh Week. During the week, you can check out the Refresh Fair, a chance to take a look at all the sports clubs and societies that the Students' Union has to offer. There's also an open mic night, a five-a-side Halls of Residence football tournament, and loads more. For more information, see bathstudent.com/refresh. While everyone has been busying themselves in the library with exams, one Bath student was busying themselves on the slopes. Second-year sports performance student Jamie Barrow represented the UK at the World University Winter Games in Turkey. The snowboarder finished 23rd out of 48 competitors in the snowboard cross competition, qualifying for the finals with his best ever qualifying time. Jamie is one of the UK's hopefuls for the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, and we can only wish him the very best of luck. Sticking with a sporting theme, most of you will probably be aware of a certain half marathon on the 6th of March. Well, joining the hordes of charity runners this year is the Mayor of Bath. Like other runners, Councillor Sean McGall has been getting in shape for the 13-mile race, and he dropped by the STV's Human Performance Centre to find out just how well his preparations were going.
I'm happy with my results in the fact that it shows that I do need to do a slightly more training between now and the beginning of March when I'm running the half marathon. But I think it's given Kate and myself some great statistics to show where we need to improve my performance. So I've always been very confident. I ran it 2 years ago for the Mayor of Bath's Relief Fund as well, and I did it in about 2 hours 15. So this year, with Kate's help, I'm going to try and make sure I get under 2 hours. And also I've got my younger brother who used to be in the Royal Marines running with me, so that will be another incentive for me to try and improve my performance. I'm going to hopefully raise a fair bit of money for the Mayor of Bath's Relief Fund, and if anybody does want to help sponsor me and raise some money for a good cause, they can just visit the Mayor of Bath's website, which is very easy, www.mayorofbath.co.uk.
Another sporting charity event coming up soon is a tri-service rugby tournament in aid of Decade. Decade raises money for servicemen and women and their families who've been affected by the conflict in Afghanistan. The tournament will feature teams from the Bristol Officer Training Corps, the Bristol University Air Squadron and the Bristol University Navy Unit, all of which have students from Bath. The tournament will take place on Saturday the 12th of February at Colerne Airfield, 15 minutes from Bath. It kicks off at 1 p.m. and has already raised over £1,000. Now it's that time of year when Bath students once again take to the catwalk in Fashion at Bath. The annual fashion show will take place this year on Wednesday the 16th of March and is once again raising money for Sue Ryder, a charity that provides 4 million hours of care each year to people with long-term or end-of-life care needs. Last year the show raised £3,000 for the charity and hopes to do the same this year. Tickets will be on sale from mid-February at £12 for students. But if you fancy yourself as Bath's next top model, then come along to Elements on Tuesday the 8th of February between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. for an open casting call, and you could find yourself strutting down the runway. Now, late last year, Britain saw huge numbers of students take to the streets to protest at the government's proposed reforms to the higher education system. But where is the process now? Tamar Hudson has this for us.
It was the biggest student protest for more than 10 years. Not since the introduction of top-up fees had the students' voice been heard quite so loudly, with students converging on London to show their anger at the proposed raising of tuition fees. And although the march sparked further action, the government was to eventually have its way, and that day is remembered for very different reasons. So what's the next step? In the early months of 2011, the government will be releasing a white paper which will be outlining the details of the reform. Crucially, this means working out what the term exceptional circumstances means when it comes to charging £9,000 instead of the baseline is £6,000. In November 2010, David Willis, the university's minister, had this to say: "People will not be able to put on charges whatever they like, heading north of £6,000 towards £9,000. However, the amount the University of Bath will actually have to charge to cover the cost of lack of government funding is around £7,500. The university is currently trying to work out what they will be charging and has set up a fees and access working group to discuss this issue. The NUS President, Aaron Porter, had this to say to the Vice-Chancellor.
Well, my advice to all Vice-Chancellors and also to Professor Glynis Breakwell is that it cannot simply be business as usual for universities. If they are to contemplate charging students more, whether that's £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 or £9,000, they need to be proving to students that students are getting more, paying twice or 3 times as much as they are presently. Now, I accept that universities have faced a huge cut in government funding, but this was not brought on or caused by students.
The Vice-Chancellor was invited to reply. Her office had this to say.
The government agreed that charging between £6,000 and £9,000 was only possible in exceptional circumstances, and the time frames on making these decisions are extremely tight, given the fact that the government has yet to announce a number of key bits of information which we would require. So it is very difficult at this stage to answer Aaron Porter's question directly, particularly given the fact that the government has yet to release the information regarding the level of funding that the university will receive in 2012-2013. However, student experience is always at the forefront of the university's decisions on strategy and planning.
Along with a number of other government initiatives, the Education Maintenance Allowance is due to be scrapped. A march took place on the 19th of January in London to point out the fact that with the lack of EMA, this may be adding to youth unemployment, which is just under 1 million. Locally, this would be affecting 47% of students of the City of Bath College. Student Union President Laura Doggett had this to say.
EMA gives many of our students at the City of Bath College the opportunity to focus on their studies and not be pressured into a part-time job. We feel the cuts will only discourage students from bettering themselves, as without it they will not be able to afford to study here.
Scrapping the EMA is part of the government's scheme to cut the deficit, pointing out that EMA costs just under £600 million a year. However, Unison, the Public Services Trade Union, has pointed out that by cutting EMA, there will be a £40 million penalty charge from cutting the contract to administer EMA. Whatever the outcome, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about this in future months.
Well, if you'd like to have your say on the potential levels of fees or any other part of the reforms, then log on to bathstudent.com/fees. Well, that's all from CTV Student News this week. If you'd like to get involved with CTV or any other part of Bath Student Media, then email ctv-manager@bath.ac.uk or editor@bathimpact.com or urb-manager@bath.ac.uk. My name's Simon Budden. You've been watching CTV's Student News.